is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvietto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orviettosawards.com. Orvietto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slomin Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slomin Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodydental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days from Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Raymond. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Raymond can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. What happened here? There we go. All right. Good morning. Woo. All right. It is a Monday, January 12th, 2026, day number 18,988 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. Day number 8,771 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Will we reset this clock in 7 days? That's the question. Will we eliminate that from the open of the show? And Sean and I, the committee, okay, have decided that 5 years the clock starts again. So if the Canes win on Monday, Tuesday's show will not have that clock again for the next 5 years. Now, the Dolphin one, well, that's a whole other kit and caboodle, and we can't do anything about that. So we shall see. Well, we shall see. And Thursday, we're going to be at Caneswear. Okay? 11 a.m. Be there or be square. Get your Canes gear. Use our code BIG010. Get 10% off. All right? At Caneswear. Go see Brett and Jeff and Jack and Ken Graff and all the amazing people out there at Caneswear. 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Right? They're changing it from Davie to Davie. So that's what's happening now. Yeah, they're gentrifying the place. So instead of Davie, we're going to Davie. It is what it is. What can I tell you? So now you know it's no more Davie. It's Davie. Anyway, remember to hit the like button. Very important to hit that like button. Gets that algorithm going. More and more people find out about the show when they search, all that good stuff. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Of course, send in your questions, comments, and insults there. We will read them and react to them. So you can do that at any time. You can also hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live. I wasn't going to do anything on the weekend, and all of a sudden I did a Saturday show. There was a bunch of breaking stuff with Dolphin, head coaching list and all that. So we did a show on Saturday talking a little bit about that and other things. And we gave the wise guy picks, too, on top of all of that. We'll go over that because tonight's the last game, and we'll go over the wise guy picks tomorrow when we're at Hialeah Park with the fellas. So we'll have a little fun with that. So hope you all had a fantastic weekend. How's the market opened up on this crazy Monday? We are up 526 points in the Dow. The S&P is up 64, and the NASDAQ is down about 1.5 points. Silver is exploding, dude. Absolutely exploding, bro. Wow. And Bitcoin's kind of been stuck in the 90,000 range. It went to 92 last night. Now it's getting close to 91. It's at 97.43. We'll find out. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's probably going to hurt Bitcoin that the government is suing the Fed so they can control the Fed because, the independence of the Fed is, so I'm sure people in the know all over the world are probably going, yeah, this is about to, there's a big turd that's about to hit the fan. So I just kind of laugh at people that don't believe in Bitcoin and they're not paying attention to what's going on, which is incredibly dangerous. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. That's all I can tell you. Michael Saylor, by the way, bought $1.25 billion. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. All right. Let me do this again. Michael Saylor bought 13,627 Bitcoin today for $1.25 billion. You're worried, and this man just gobbled up $1.25 billion of Bitcoin. I mean, the signals are all there. It's happening, and the most amazing part about all of this is happening in front of the entire world, and yet 90% of the world is completely missing out on it. It's like 95, but I think there's a 5 that's kind of like figuring it out and getting on board before like the shit really hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? So just in case, you see them buy that much Bitcoin, they now own 687,410 Bitcoin worth $51.8 billion at $75,353 per coin. Meanwhile, the Trump administration, the government's trying to control the Federal Reserve and suing Jerome Powell. So there you go. Anyway, we thank R&M Contractors, as always, Ray and Mike. They support all of our crypto segments, and you can reach out to Ray and Mike if you're looking to redo your home, your business, your condo, by the way, and obviously with insurance in the way. Besides, of course, impact windows and door installations. They do the waterproofing of your terrace, your balcony, and a flood test report too, which is very important because if you ever have a busted pipe or something, you don't want the water getting down to your neighbors, or if you own a home and second floor, you don't want to go down to your first floor or whatever. So it's great to have a flood test report and be able to drain it and everything. It's very, very important. So reach out to R&M Contractors. They do it right. I don't care what you want to do. You want to do a sauna in your home? You want to, whatever you want to do, a pool, you want to do a second level, whatever it is, call R&M Contractors. They know how to get it done. And if you want to see their work firsthand, go to their Instagram page at RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. You can see some amazing work, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, again, we will continue to be proud on this show that we will not fill you up with bullshit. Okay, you could go to QAM. They've got a shit ton of lazy ass hosts over there. You could probably read some of the writers, but we are not going to fill your ass up with any Harbaugh stuff. As we've been telling you for already a week now, you got no shot at Harbaugh. You will not have a shot at Harbaugh. You will not get Harbaugh. You're not in a position to get Harbaugh. But, listen, if you want to go ahead, you could go listen to other lazy radio hosts, and they'll spend segments talking about Harbaugh and all that shit and just fill you up. But I also get this too, because most of the people there, I'm sure, well, when I talk about QAM, no one on the station there has any insight. So that I understand that part. None of them have any insight anyway. But, so half of them are probably dumb enough to believe that Harbaugh could come here, and the other half don't know shit anyways about it. So when you don't have any insight and you don't really actually know, then you're going to do stupid shit like talk about Harbaugh. But I'm not going to do that here. We're not going to do that on this platform because we will keep you level-headed and realistic. It's not about negativity, bro. It's not about negativity. It's about calling it like it is. Okay? I actually like the hire very much, John Eric Sullivan. The more I look into it, they actually had both. Josh was going to be a good one too, except if you would have done the stupid Mike McDaniel Josh thing, Josh was going to be useless because,
It doesn't matter what talent you get when the guy can't maximize it. So it really wouldn't have worked. But at least they had two candidates there for, plan A, which was a stupid plan of, we'll talk to three people in San Francisco that worked with Mike, and we'll try to pair him up with Mike. And, we like Mike. And, Harbaugh became available. Okay, now we're out of that. All right, let's go. Okay. I mean, the talk right now, it doesn't even look like they're going to get even a token interview, which I thought at least they would get a token interview only because of his relationship with Michigan and the brother and all that other crap. But right now, dude, Cleveland, I think, is the one that's going to be used as leverage, like Miami in the because it's Tennessee, it's Atlanta, it's the Giants, it's the teams I told you right from the get-go. The ones that have a quarterback and they don't have cap hell like Miami or anything like that. And by the way, here's the other thing. It's just at 63, just doesn't make any sense. It's a rebuild, and maybe he wants to go somewhere where it's a clean slate, but the rebuild has a quick curve to it. And if you go to Tennessee, even though I don't believe in Jackson Dart, but everybody looks at it like he's got a franchise quarterback, the kid's kind of knucklehead, so he's not going to learn not to run. So whatever, I mean, you might be able to develop a franchise quarterback out of Jackson Dart if he learns not to run, but the way he plays, he won't last. And so I just think that there are places that are going to be better and quicker to turn it around. Atlanta's got a nice core, right? They've got to solve the quarterback issue, but they've got a nice core there, and they don't have the cap hell that Miami has. So it's just, we're not in position to land the guy. And I got to tell you, if I'm John Eric Sullivan, I got the job finally. I don't want to be a yes man. So, but hey, listen, they've got really good candidates. Now, here's the thing. Jeff Hafley, good defensive coordinator, dude, a good candidate, but is he ready to be a head coach and build a staff and all that? I don't know. Clint Kubiak has done a marvelous job as an offensive coordinator. He's actually really interesting. Can he build a staff? I don't know. It's hard to ask a young guy to come in and do all of that. Robert Saleh, he's been a head coach. He's back at being a defensive coordinator. He's done a marvelous job with San Francisco, considering all of the injuries. I actually like Saleh. I think that wouldn't be a bad one, too. And then you've got the idea that I gave you guys in Mike McCarthy, because I don't think you're going to get Harbaugh, and I'm pretty sure you have no chance at Stefanski, because Stefanski and Harbaugh are going to probably settle in on the Giants in Tennessee, the ones that have a quarterback already. Because if you're Giants or Tennessee, you want to get Harbaugh or Stefanski. You want to get somebody that already is proven, can come in, and can help your quarterback right away. You know what I'm saying? So you want experience. And so with that, you get experience overall. So I don't think Miami gets any of that. And so the Kubiak thing, very nice. I like it. Jeff Hafley, that's all right. It's a defensive coordinator. I like Salah a little bit more. I haven't heard the name Joe Brady. You guys know I love the Joe Brady out of the young guys. But Mike McCarthy, for me, is the guy that is perfect for the situation that Miami is in. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But, man, it's just listen, I'll tell you this. I'm now rejuvenated a little bit for the Dolphins, because I'll be completely honest. I was telling a friend of mine over the weekend, I was going to eliminate pregame for next year. If you brought back Mike McDaniel, I was not going to do pregame. I've already trimmed down pregame, okay, because I'm just getting tired of it. I was eliminating pregame. If you brought back Mike McDaniel back next year, I was going to cut down even more. You know, it's just I don't have time for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't like spinning my wheels. I'm not going to tell you about Harbaugh. I'm not going to tell you about Jonathan Taylor or Cook or that they're, you know, whatever, all these stupid things that I have shot down over the last couple of years and then never happens. I tell you, hey, dude, it's not going to happen. It really never happens. You know what I'm saying? So I don't waste your time on any of that bullshit. I wasn't going to waste my time doing pregame. You bring back Mike McDaniel. Why the hell should I do pregame? Why, dude? I wasn't even going to look forward to postgame with Mike McDaniel, and I'm being 100% honest. Like I've been doing this for over 3 decades, dude. I've turned the corner now there where I'm going into finishing the 4th decade. That's no joke, dude. You know, you kind of get tired of it. And so now with John Eric Sullivan and you eliminated Mike McDaniel, now you gave me some hope now, you know, that you're going to do at least something. You're actually changing the whole place, top to bottom, general manager, head coach. You're going to redo the scouting department. So all of that, I think, is extremely important because now when you bring in a guy like John Eric Sullivan, you're going to redo the entire scouting department. And it's somebody that actually has been in scouting for over 20 years. I don't want the scouting department redone by the people that were there. That does not inspire me. But John Eric Sullivan has given me a little hope here on that, I will admit. But I'm telling you, I wasn't even going to do pregame. It was just going to I just don't have time for this, dude. You know? I've been at this for a long time, and you don't need it, and I don't need it, and I'm not into this silliness when I know that it's not going anywhere, you know? So I'm glad that they made this change because it gives me a little bit more of a lift. Sean, do me a favor. Give me 30 seconds, please.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
I don't know which one you guys want. I don't know which candidate you guys want. I don't know where you stand on all of this. Just, please don't tell me about Harbaugh, okay? Just let it go. That's just stupid talk. I don't know which of the other candidates, obviously any of you out there on the chat board, you can put it in there and we can go over it a little bit. Which one you think? Matt LaFleur, by the way, will not be added to this list because everybody, he lost yesterday. And, if he gets fired, he could be a candidate on Miami's list. And I got to tell you something. I'm not that impressed with Matt LaFleur, overall. Like, if you would have signed him, okay. But, I kind of think he's underachieved a little bit there, in Green Bay. And that's where I would this is where I got to tell you that this is why I'm a bigger believer in Mike McCarthy, because whether it's Hafley or, LaFleur or whatever, I'd rather have McCarthy than all those guys. If he's going to go anywhere into his Green Bay connections, okay, McCarthy for me is the better option out of those Green Bay connections for John Eric Sullivan. And he's more proven, and he's actually accomplished things where the other guys haven't had nearly as any kind of success like he's had, overall. And I'm throwing, LaFleur in there because the Frenchman, I got to say, I can't tell you that the hiring of Matt LaFleur was going to really like rock my boat. I can't say that. I'd be lying to you to tell you, oh, yeah, no. If they would have hired LaFleur, I'd have been super happy. All right. I would have gone, all right. That's what I would have gone. All right. Not bad, not terrible or anything, but he's all right. Yeah, that's kind of the way I would have looked at it. It's crazy. But it's just, I don't know where you guys stand, how you look at it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Send in your questions, comments, or insults. Ohio John, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, what do you think about all the sports writers upset about the woman at Liam Cohen's press conference yesterday? Oh, dude, I am so sorry. I must have missed it. What happened? I don't know. What do you know anything about that, Sean? A woman at Liam Cohen's press conference in Jacksonville? I have no idea, dude. What do you got for me?
I don't know if it was this one, but there was one that was like told him to keep his head up. He's been doing a good job. I don't know if there was something else that happened. I saw that one quickly on social media, so I'm not sure if that is the one that's
like a woman reporter or somebody that told him to keep his head up or something.
Yeah, I believe it was a reporter. She said, keep your head up. You did a great job with what you did here in Duval, and at least that's what I heard. I don't know if there's more to this. Let me see if I'll do more research and see what actually.
Yeah, I'm dealing from ignorance here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ohio John. I did not see that. I don't know what happened. But the Jags became the Jags again, dude. Like I thought they were ready to take the next step. They were the better team at that moment. But Josh Allen, dude, you got to give Josh Allen credit. That bomb when he was about to get hit and he laid that thing out there, like what Justin Herbert couldn't do last night. After everybody talks all that shit about Justin Herbert and he took a beating. I get it, but dude, he was off on many passes, whereas Josh Allen, that sumbitch, he makes plays, dude. Look at the Chicago kid. He's a freaking punk. Still hasn't grown up. He really can't play on schedule, but off schedule, he's such a freak of a talent. He does this shit all year where he makes plays off schedule because he's got sick abilities. He still hasn't figured out how to be a quarterback yet, and eventually he has all the tools to be that guy, but he hasn't been able to figure that out. But you got a chance because he'll make plays, and he's done it all year. Like he can't run a regular offense normal. They end up falling behind and all that, and then the heroics have to start, and then that's his game. The send-lot shit starts. And that's his game. And so I got to give Josh Allen, too, that love. Mahomes does that, too. They can sandlot the bitch. Justin Herbert couldn't sandlot shit last night. But Josh Allen, man, you got to give him props. And the Jags, they're the better team, the better defense, but they just couldn't figure out how to get it done. Sad, dude. After a season like that, to shit your pants in the playoffs, that's bad. I know that Josh Allen has to try to win because, there's not a lot of big quarterbacks left in the playoffs on his side of the bracket. So, he's got a great shot this year, but the Jags should have won. They should have won, but the Jags became the Jags. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what do you got for me?
All right, so yeah, apparently it looks like it was that she was at the press conference, at the coach's press conference, and she didn't ask the question. She just said, "I'm going to tell you congratulations on your success, young man. You hold your head up. You guys had a most magnificent season. You did a great job out there today. You just hold your heads up, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Duval, you keep it going. We got another season." It was about 19 seconds long, and there's some saying they don't need reporters being fans, and then some reporters are talking about how little time they get to ask coaches questions, and then that was the question that was kind of brought up.
Who is she?
That's what sparked the controversy.
Who is she?
Is Jacksonville Free Press Associate Editor Lynn Jones Turpin.
Wow. So it's actually from a newspaper?
The Jacksonville Free Press, I'm guessing. Yeah, Associate Editor.
That's sad. I can expect it from a podcaster or something like that. That's, those people are usually so fanatical that they really can't be objective. So, wow, sad. Yeah, and I agree. There's no place for that at all. That's not a place for stupid congratulatory bullshit. Yeah, I agree. She could send them an email, and that's it. But not take up the press conference. I agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, she's a disgrace to the business. That's what I would say about her. She's a disgrace to our business. But then again, what they've done with our business nowadays, it's kind of a joke. They're just letting anybody in, and it's just kind of, there's way too many people that should not be there, and it is what it is. What can I tell you? It's the world has changed, and sometimes it's not for the better. And in the media business, it's gotten worse. There's no doubt about that. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got here. We got Adolfo Foliaco. Is Mike McCarthy on the list of candidates? Yes. It is Harbaugh, Stefanski, Clint Kubiak, Jeff Hafley, Robert Saleh, and Mike McCarthy. That's the list. So yes, he's on the list of 6 right now. Okay. Let's, in my eyes, I hope he gets the job. Okay. Keep it real says McCarthy's scouting room has always been solid, misses a few and far in between. Well, McCarthy's not really running the draft. It'll be Sullivan running the draft. Ocala Joe in the house says McCarthy would be my first choice and Salas would be my second. Let's see. Juan Mendoza, the worst part about the game yesterday is that the Jags were obviously the better team, but didn't come through when you need it. Exactly. Amen. True Fin fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, for me, it's Stefanski all day with McCarthy. Yeah, but we're not getting Stefanski. Stefanski will get one of the jobs with a quarterback. He's not stupid. He's going to take he's a proven coach. He will take a job with a quarterback and not cap hell, So yeah, I don't think guys like that aren't going to take this job. They're just not, I'd love to fill you up with that bullshit and say that it's real and it's realistic, but it's not. So if you can't really get Harbaugh and Stefanski, who are you going to get? That's the question. I wish Joe Brady was on that list, because that's one of the young guys that I would take a chance on, because we really don't know if Joe Brady, like all these young guys, you don't really know if they can build a staff. Okay? And Mike McCarthy's been around where he's had to build multiple staffs and had to replace in Green Bay and then had to do a whole new staff in Dallas. So to me, I like that experience, and especially for the storm you're going to weather over the first 2 years. And that's where I think it's very important who you hire, that you hire somebody that is strong enough to weather the storm for the Dolphins the first 2 years and then kind of get through it, And I think McCarthy's that guy that's kind of built for that, for this moment right now for the Miami Dolphins. Stephen Harris, good morning to you, sir. Oscar Rojas is in the house. Let's see. What else? Kosa. Stoney Stanley. Tim Big Riggins. The Athletic Jeff George had a worse playoff QB rating and the same amount of postseason touchdown passes as Mitchell Trubisky. Anyone who says he is elite QB doesn't know ball. It's because he looks so good. Athletically, he is the perfect specimen for a quarterback. But he is a guy that gets small in big moments. And, that's just kind of the way it is. And if you saw yesterday, it wasn't so much only about getting hit, but you saw how inaccurate he was with a whole bunch of passes. And that's not because he's an inaccurate quarterback. It's because he's a yellow belly. He's a Jeff George, same as Jeff George, dude, except this guy can move around. Jeff George couldn't move around like this guy, but they both are supreme talents. Jeff George is one of the 5 best arms I've ever seen in my life, period. Anybody that's lived it, you haven't lived it, I don't really take your word for it, because if you don't live it, you can't really pick off of some highlight or something like that. But anybody that's lived it during that era or before and all the way till now, and you ask them, give me 5 of the best arms you've ever seen in your life, if they don't put Jeff George there, it's personal or something. Because I don't like Jeff George, but I will admit his arm, oh my God. Wow. Okay? Like special and a half. That guy had an arm that was the Lord seriously said, if I was a football quarterback, that's what the Lord said. I'm going to give it to this guy. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out. He picked the wrong guy. But he gave him the arm of Thor, dude. He gave him the arm of Thor. Jesus. Jeff George, man. What a yellow belly. Adolfo Foliaco is back with another super chat. He says, can you offer a coach a partial ownership? No, you can't. You can't. So, but I appreciate it, and it's nice and all that. I think Harbaugh wants to go somewhere where he wins. He's going to make money anyways. That's the part that so many of you have missed out on. He's going to make the money wherever he goes. It's about legacy for him. He wants to win. And that's why our destination does not provide him that platform right away. And he's going to want one right away. He's 63. And by the way, we haven't been able to create that platform in decades. So you're trying to revive something that's been dead like forever, bro. Think about that. You're trying to revive something that's been dead forever. That's hard. It's really, really hard. So, True Fan says Jeff George could fling it. Sam the Man says, I wonder what the excuses they are going to say about Herbert now. I don't know. Ask Joe Rose. Ask him. He's the one that will make an excuse for him. Let's see. Think Blue Dodgers. Hope we build the lines and eventually get a QB that makes a living in the pocket instead of depending on athleticism. Agree. I'd love for him to have some athleticism to be able to help himself, but you got to be able to make a living from the pocket. Because if you can't, you're eventually, it just makes it so hard on you. You got to be able to make a living from the pocket because you're not going to be able to run all the time. If you were able to run all the time, then maybe Lamar Jackson would have had success, a lot more success in the playoffs. But since you can't run all the time in the playoffs because they will cut it off, you're going to have to pass. And that's been the bugaboo for Lamar Jackson. But hey, don't worry about you Lamar Jackson people out there. You can come at me next year. You know, next year you can come at me. And then you can say, see, that was a key decision of the game. That Lamar Jackson got it done. Like Slomin's gets it done in 49 of 50 states. And by the way, ShieldLink is amazing. It's an app. And in that app, you can control your lights, climate, door locks, music, blinds, TV, just about anything in your home. That's a beautiful thing. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. I promise you. Great people. And they've been protecting Americans for over 100 years. So call Slomin's 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. And ask them about ShieldLink. They'll explain everything to you, and you are going to see that it is a beautiful thing when you're headed home and it's a hot day and you go, you know what, let me turn on the AC in the house and cool it down. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to get home around 9 o'clock. Let me turn on the lights, and the dogs are in the house. It's a little hot. Let me turn on the AC, things like that. Cameras, everybody has cameras on the outside. I have cameras on the inside too because I have 2 big dogs, right? I have 4, but the 2 little ones don't do any damage. The 2 big dogs, anybody that has big dogs, you know what I'm talking about. Usually they're pretty cool, but, they like to fight sometimes, play. And, things can happen. So sometimes I got to watch, and Slomin ShieldLink allows me to do that. It's a beautiful thing, man. Call them 1-800-ALARM-ME and tell them that Big O sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Let's see what else. Horn Dog says, Jeff George did have a great arm and shitty attitude. Didn't one of his coaches try to fight him on the sidelines when he was with the Colts? I think so. Was it Marchabrota or some shit? I forgot, but yeah, I remember what you're talking about. A coach getting into a scuffle. He said Jeff George was just a bad dude, bro. He had a terrible, like you said, a terrible attitude. It's a shame. It really is a shame because it was magical watching the ball fly off that guy's arm, bro. Like, what? And if you saw it live, which I got to see it live, you're like, wow, dude, if this guy wasn't a yellow belly, that's all you would say back in those days. Because we all looked at him like a yellow belly. Nobody ever looked at him like a clutch player. Ever. He was a yellow belly the entire time. And you knew it. We knew it. Everybody knew it. You knew that he would implode at one point or another. But man, he could put up some stats. He could make some throws. And you're like, wow, dude, screw your head on right, bro. What a shame. But that happens in sports, What else do we have? Ray doesn't want any part of Salah. There you go. The Jets experienced probably soured him on that, and I get it. Eric McCarthy, for me, I just think most of these candidates are good enough to be a DC or an OC, not a head coach. Yeah, that's the unknown. Until you hire him, you won't know, I believe it was June Jones. You know what, King? I think you got a good memory. I think you're right. I think it was June Jones, bro. And June Jones is a fiery sumbitch. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna go with King. I think he's right. I think he got it right. I think it was June Jones and Jeff George got into it. Yeah. I don't know if we could, I don't know, Sean, the research. Oh, you got it already?
Yeah, it was 1996.
And
that led to Georgia's suspension and ended his time in Atlanta.
June Jones, for sure.
Yeah, it was June Jones. Yep.
For sure. Once you said Atlanta, June Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 That's right. Good job, King. Good job. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. Yeah. 96. So 30 years ago. It's crazy, right? 30 years ago. Like, time flies. That's 30 years ago. Like, where did the time go, dude? Where did the time go? Man, I haven't heard yellow belly in an age. Well, that's because you're of age. You know that word. That's a classic word for a choker. Jeff George had a sideline confrontation. There you go. Yes, June Jones. Thank you, David. Whitlock has always been a fan of George. Well, that explains everything you need to know about both of them. And the fact that you know that, that's sad, by the way. I don't think I want to know any facts about Jason Whitlock. Let's see. Juan Mendoza, I get people being skeptical about Salah, but we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. The Jets are the Jets, and unfortunately, Dolphins aren't close behind. Yeah. Well, that's where it's up to John. You know, John Eric Sullivan has so much responsibility right now, and it's great. I love this part because when we talk about a general manager, okay, remember the first idea coming to Pelissero from the building was, well, we're looking for a scout. Why? Because they thought they had the structure in place from McDaniel. And then all of a sudden, you know, Tom Garfinkel and Shore, all of a sudden, you know, they're football guys too. So, okay, we'll get a scout and we can handle everything else. We got the coach and all that. And then all of a sudden, Harbaugh, boom, plan B. That got scratched. Now plan C, they went with Sullivan or Josh, which they were going to go Sullivan because once they didn't come McDaniel, Josh was out. So now you go Sullivan, and now things change. Because now you hired a guy that you have to give him some power, some real power. And all of a sudden, like I tell you guys, is Bill Zito just a scout? Is Pat Riley just a scout? Or used to be? Anyway, well, it's a whole other subject. I digress. But my point is, you're much more than a scout. You're actually overlooking the entire organization. Who's going to be my coach? Who's going to be his coaches? Who are the players we bring in? Who's my training staff? Who's my equipment staff? Who's my, you know, and then what is the mindset of all these people? And it's got to be all on the same page. And there's got to be a culture that is going to be set in. John Eric Sullivan is part of that culture. There's a reason why you're successful with the Panthers, because when you bring in A.J. Greer, he fits. And that's extremely important. So if you're going to bring in the Lamborghini or whoever else that you're going to add and subtract from the team, it's got to be a player that fits. It's got to be somebody. So if you're going to bring Brad Marchand in, who's annoyed in the entire league, and he's a guy that bothers people, he's a guy that doesn't fit in every locker room or every franchise or whatever, well, you've got to know what your franchise is all about if you're going to bring him in. And then you bring him in, and he's a perfect fit for the guys that you have. That's Bill Zito. That's not just Paul Maurice. Paul Maurice has to then make sure everything runs tight. But Bill Zito has to understand what kind of player he is, what kind of athlete he is. You know what I mean? What kind of person he is. And then he's got to, okay, this piece fits in our puzzle. So John Eric Sullivan is as important to culture as it is talent. It's important in order for you to win. That's been the problem with the Miami Dolphins. It's had a terrible culture from the top to the bottom. Now you brought in a complete outsider, and this outsider is going to want to do things his way, a way that we have not been doing things. So John Eric Sullivan is much more than just a guy that's going to be important in the draft room. He's going to be important on the field, in the practice field, in the training room, in the scout room, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But in the end, it's what puts together the entire culture. So this guy is really, really important in many, many ways. So he has to look what happened to Greer. He didn't get the right people. He got a divisive guy the first time, and then he got a clown in the second half that couldn't really organize himself, which these people don't know what they're getting into that are interviewing him. Sean Stanley, 30 seconds, please.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
All right. By the way, Bitcoin over 91,369. So making a little bit of a move up. Doesn't really mean much, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Volume needs to pick up. That'll be the key. What else do we have here? Let me see what you guys got. Big O, was there ever a head coach who did both OC and DC successfully or not? No, I've never heard of that in my life. No, I've never heard of that. Unless we're talking about like 1908 or something. I don't know. You know, I wouldn't. But in modern day football, I've never heard of that in my life. Let's see. Blank boat, just like Harbaugh and Stefanski. Why would McCarthy at 63 years of age want to coach the Dolphins without a QB? Yeah, no, it just doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Big O, I remember in Little League, the old Cubans used to call those guys amarillo. That's right. That yellow stripe down his back. King says McCarthy might be the best thing we can get. I would be interested to see who he brings on the staff. Yeah. Keep it real says, I always beat the drum that Greer was bad. Juju in Miami for the past 10 years. Well, keep it real. What has Miami done in 40 years? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. They choked in every big moment with Marino too. Must have missed it. You know? And it's like, oh, Tua doesn't win in the cold. No, dude, the Dolphins don't win in the cold. Oh, they don't win on the road. No, the Dolphins don't win on the road. They don't beat good teams. This has been going on forever. So the Dolphins have been a choking ass bunch of dogs for 40 years, dude. Did you, maybe you're not old enough, but did you watch all the playoff runs by Jimmy Johnson? They ended up in every embarrassing fashion left and right, dude. Jimmy Johnson got embarrassed over and over and over again in the playoffs. And by the way, Shula was getting embarrassed, the last 10, 15 years in the playoffs. So I'm not sure how. I get some of you are young, but this whole thing that you make it sound like bad juju lately or something, dude, it's been going on for 40 years. Why? Because Marino won a couple of extra games? But did you win anything that mattered? No. Nothing. You didn't win shit that mattered. Come on, man. So let's let it go already. You know, this whole thing, the Dolphins have been a disaster forever, dude. Forever. I get some of you are young, but, you know, you have such shitty perspective, to be quite honest. Absolutely shitty perspective. You know what I'm saying? And if you're 25, I get it why you have shitty perspective, because you haven't been around. But don't make it sound like this is anything new, dude. The Dolphins have been yellow bellies, amarillo, choking dogs for 40 years, dude. 40 years. They've been choking ass dogs. Nothing has changed. So that's why when I tell you that John Eric Sullivan has got a job that nobody has been able to accomplish. Nobody has ever created a culture here that matters. Since the 70s, maybe early 80s, it was dying out, and after that, it was gone. Some of it was left in the early 80s because that's why they got to the Super Bowl. But then after that, the culture died. And there was no more toughness or anything. Dolphins haven't been a tough team in forever, dude. Soft and finesse. Marino's teams were soft and finesse, and they're all the way down to now soft and finesse. It's always been the same shit. So, again, not sure what some of you are watching. Really. Okay. Anyway, what else do we have? Been around long enough to see about every other team rebuild and bounce back except the Dolphins for my whole lifetime. Exactly. And that's because the Dolphins have always been a choking ass bunch of yellow belly dogs. Always. Okay? Long time, dude. Yeah. The 70s are a long time away, dude. Long time away. And we got to let it go. Because that's the reality. Okay. This isn't nothing new that, oh my God, we just started losing, or we're just chokers now, or we're soft now, or we don't win in the cold, or we don't win on the road, or we don't beat big teams. You know, that's been going on forever with the Miami Dolphins. Old story, faces change, same results. So hope some of you can figure that shit out. Let's see. Statistically, Big O, that trend of being soft has to change sometime. Just means we have to be closer to winning. Can't lose forever. LOL. I know, right? You get everything wrong forever. You hope to get it right someday. We'll see. Let's see. Everyone keeps saying Harbaugh wants to go to a team with a winning quarterback. If so, why did he keep Lamar till he got fired? He doesn't control all of that. That's, he went along with it. There's a personnel department. There's an owner that is very involved. And clearly the owner is fine with Lamar and not him. So it is what it is. I've said this for many years now. I commend Harbaugh. For committing to that offense and staying with it and believing in it and believing in Lamar. He did everything possible to help Lamar get over the hump, but Lamar's not good enough to get over the hump. But because he's flashy enough and he's runs like the wind and all of that, and he puts up some good stats, people kind of get, they get lost in all of that. And then they kind of, I love how they talk about this last year with the tight end dropping and all, and then they leave out all the other years where he made terrible throws, interceptions, and bad mistakes to end all kinds of seasons in the playoffs. And it's just convenient how You just want to use the tight end last year. Like, okay. By the way, he made if I remember correctly, he also made a big mistake earlier in that game too that cost him points. So it wasn't only the tight end screwing things up, which he did. But it is what it is. But it's there's a convenient element to the Lamar Jackson argument, because in the end, dude, look how many years it is, and you've had some really good teams, and you've constantly also screwed it up. And that's because you rely on an offense that is heavy on run. And if you don't have the Eagles' offensive and defensive lines, which the Baltimore Ravens have not had it, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. That's how dominant you have to be. Because when you have a Jalen Hurts, who's a mediocre passer, okay, all right, there you go. And they won one. And I wouldn't want Jalen Hurts on my team for nothing in the world. Fantastic kid. He can marry my daughter if you want, because he's a great young man. Okay? But I don't want anything to do with him in football. Nothing whatsoever. And they won a championship because they were so dominant on the offensive and defensive lines. A running back was killing it, and then he was killing it with the running game, that all he had to do was complete a couple passes. Now, if you want to commit to that kind of an offense and hope that your quarterback can complete a couple of those passes, then take the chance. And the Eagles, hey, dude, I wouldn't want Nick Foles on my team, just like I wouldn't want Jalen Hurts on my team. I wouldn't want Doug Peterson on my team, just like I don't want Nick Sirianni. But when you build the lines that dominant, you can overcome the quarterback and your head coach. That's why I keep saying all these idiots out there that we have on local radio or radio, we got to get a quarterback right now because that's going to solve everything. No, it's not. No, it's not. Build the team, dude. Focus on building the team. Then get the quarterback. You can't get one anyways this year. So you're too deep in the draft. There's no rush now. Get a journeyman, get something to get by right now over the next 2 years. Draft a young guy in the middle, late rounds or whatever you want, a project, whatever, dude. But right now, build the lines, build the team. Go the Howie Roseman route. That's what you need to do. Go that Howie Roseman route. That dude's smart. That dude builds up the lines, and he interchanges the quarterback and the head coach. Do you want Nick Sirianni here? If he's available, do you hire Nick Sirianni as your head coach for the Miami Dolphins? I wouldn't. Do you want Doug Peterson? I mean, they both won Super Bowls. I wouldn't. Do you want Nick Foles or Jalen Hurts? I don't. I want nothing to do with those guys. Nice guys, but yeah, no. So let's build the team, dude. That's much better. By the way, the folks at Acura of Pembroke Pines, they are rocking right now with the customer appreciation sales event going on, and they are the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. 2026 Integras are in, $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. 2025 ADXs, $239 a month, 1.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX 2025 model, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. And the TLX 2025 model, $389 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. They've got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles, and you're going to love the way Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the great people out there, man. They get it done for you. They've got a great environment. They've got a customer service area that is beautiful, dude. You get to hang out, relax, watch some television, got a little cafeteria there. They got complimentary water, all of that for you at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App, or Venmo. And you can make that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Oh, wait a minute. The Dow is down 114 points. I think I should have let it refreshed earlier. S&P is down 3 points. And the NASDAQ is up a point now. That's where we're at. Okay. That makes more sense, actually, considering the craziness that is going on. Oh, man. Let's see. Anyway, what else do we have? Sorry about that. By the way, I want to just, it is amazing to me how lazy the people on Twitter are. You know what I mean? And by the way, there are the people that follow our show, the people I appreciate the most are you guys. The men and women that actually take the time to listen to the show. To me, the Twitter people that don't listen and they just want quick answers and all that, they kind of just, they disgust me, to be quite honest. It is a part of the disease in this country of laziness. And Twitter is just a cesspool of laziness. It really is. Dan Marino gave us great wins versus the 85 Bears, just to name one. Boo you, Big O. Yes. Okay. And what happened in the playoffs? Did you get the rematch against the Bears when it counted? Kosa? Bueller? 4 fumbles against New England? Bueller? Who gives a shit about beating the Bears in the regular season? Oh, because you snapped their undefeated streak? Oh, how precious. I think what matters most is that you beat New England in the playoffs, a team that was not half of the team you are, and they go on to go embarrass themselves in the Super Bowl, whatever it was, 49-3 or whatever. Who gives a shit about that win against the Bears? The 72 team? But the 85 team, shit the bed, dude. Like all Dolphins teams, shit the bed. I'm sorry, Kosa. I'm sorry, the facts. You kind of leave out the facts. Wow, you beat the Bears and broke their undefeated streak. Man, that was so important. I mean, I would have lost sleep if the Bears also ended up undefeated too. Yeah. God, I would have lost sleep. You know, I would have never slept all these decades knowing that the Bears and the Dolphins were the undefeated teams. Yeah, because the only thing that keeps me going is that we go back and say, well, we were undefeated once. Is that what we're going to live on? We were undefeated once. Great, dude. Awesome. Wow, Kosa, really? We're going to be happy about beating the Bears and then losing to New England with 4 fumbles in the playoffs. Yeah. As Abaraguedes used to say, yeah. That's a Dolphin fan for you right there, baby. They live in, like, it's a utopia that I've never seen before. They lie to themselves. It's like we celebrate the Miami miracle, bro. What are you celebrating? What did you accomplish? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. We celebrate the Baltimore game to avoid a winless season. Oh my God. And that was, I was going to lose sleep that the Dolphins are the only team to have a perfect season and a winless season. Like, who cares, bro? 1-15, 0-16, 1-16, 0-17. Who gives a shit? What I need is for you to stop Thurman Thomas and not let him run for 300 yards. What I need is for you not to fumble the ball 4 times against New England. What I need is for Bo Camper to catch the interception. That's the problem with Dolphins. They celebrate the shit that means nothing. And then they conveniently forget everything that means something. And that's the reason why we're at where we're at for 40 effing years. Boo-hoo! Beating the Bears. How hollow is that shit when you think about it? That's some hollow shit. Leon Fresco. Should Finns interview Cignetti? Cignetti cannot coach in the NFL. He coaches too mad, bro. That guy's always pissed. He'll never last in the NFL. Let him stay in college, bro. And leave Indiana alone. They just built up their program. Now you want to strip them from the guy that built up the program? He should stay there. He's perfect for college. I don't think he's built for the NFL. Nope. He's like a tyrant, bro. He's like a little Saban. They're not built for the NFL. They're not built for men. They're built to manipulate boys and keep young men in check. Cignetti is there. I don't think Cignetti's an NFL coach. That's just me. I see a lot of tyrant Saban in him, and that just does not fly. Just does not fly. Belichick got away with it because he had all those rings, but eventually that soured. Even in New England, it soured. Think about that. Even in New England, it soured. Is there a tyrant coach in the NFL right now, Sean? Who's a tyrant coach in the NFL right now? Sean Payton's like an alpha male, but not a tyrant. Vrabel's a alpha male, not a tyrant. I don't know, man. I don't think there's any of those Shula types, Belichick types. I don't think those people exist anymore at the pro level, dude. You cannot be that just flat out dick. Yes.
No, I was gonna say maybe Campbell, but he's more alpha too, right?
No, he's an alpha male, but he's a pro players type guy, like Sean Payton too, man. Sean Payton empowers players like he did with Breeze and stuff. Yeah, he's alpha. He's aggressive. Yeah, there's no doubt. So is Campbell. But they're not tyrants with players. They're not like my way, highway type guys like, like eat your head off and rip you right in front of everybody. And all that's not really who they are. You know what I mean? If you're an idiot, yeah, I'm sure they'll put you out. But no, they're not like those guys. They're alphas, but they're not like those guys. I don't know if we have any more of those guys in the NFL. That they're just curmudgeons and they're always mad and they're always intense and all. I don't know if that flies in the NFL, dude. It just doesn't. That grumpy Gills wouldn't last 2 seasons in the NFL. So you agree, Pat? Yeah. I just don't. I don't think he has the demeanor for the NFL. I think he's perfect for college. I think he's beautiful for college. And Indiana should. I hope they keep him there and he retires there. You know. Tyrant coach, Giovanni says none. Players cannot handle it in today's age. I would agree with that statement from Giovanni. Yeah. I hope we close the book on the Herbert discussion. Well, that'll be around for a while, I'm sure. You know. Adam Gase became a tyrant. And he got kicked out. Let's see. What do you think of Jeff Brom in the NFL? That's it. You know what? True Finfan, that's a very interesting one. I love his offensive mind. I don't know what Jeff Brom wants to do. I don't know if he's just a college guy, if he has aspirations for the NFL. But again, it's like one of those things. Like I don't know if he can build a staff, but I got to tell you, very intriguing call on your part. I'd rather have Marcus Freeman, which, by the way, Marcus Freeman is not leaving Notre Dame. I'm going to be a sucker here. Can I be a sucker here? Can I be an idiot here? Okay, because in today's world, you should never do what I'm about to do. Okay, I think Marcus Freeman is a man of his word. I know they're hard to find. I know it's kind of hard to put that label on anybody because everybody changes their mind and everybody lies and everybody misleads. And I know that they had in the weekend some incident, but he had nothing to do with it actually and all that. So it's not a big deal. I think when he said he's going back to Notre Dame, I just look at Marcus Freeman and I see a man's man. And I see a guy that I think, the way I look at it, okay, I just think that this is a guy that does what he tells you he's going to do. And I think he's going to go back to Notre Dame. He didn't tell you he's staying there for life. He didn't say, oh, I love it here. I'm going to be here. No, we're running it back. And I think he's coming back. Will he be back in 27? I have no idea. But I'll tell you this. I don't think Marcus Freeman is in play for anybody this year. I think he's staying in Notre Dame. And I think once he did that, you have to commit because you have the transfer portal, you have everything else going on, and he has to build a team. So I know that the report was out there that some pro teams are still trying to, contact. And I don't think he's going to leave Notre Dame. I don't believe it. And I've been fooled before. I've been suckered. Okay. Maybe I'll be suckered again. Maybe Marcus Freeman is saying it right now while I'm talking on the show that he's leaving, that he's going to go take interviews. But I just don't see that. I think that dude is that's why I like him. Because I think he's the kind of guy that can handle – he's very CEO-ish, man. Very smart, very in tune to everything going on around him. I'm impressed with Marcus Freeman, dude. Very impressed with his organizational skills. And to me, that's incredibly important when it comes to a head coach. Something that Mike McDaniel has none of, by the way. We have news, apparently. Here we go. But this is not bad. I keep telling you, this is not bad news. Arizona State transfer QB Sam Leavitt is expected to sign with LSU. Leavitt's pick comes after trips to Kentucky, Tennessee, and Miami. He led ASU, yada, 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 all that. So Canes lose out on Sorsby and Leavitt. What did I tell you? Because I'm Mr. Negative, of course. I told you that Mario is building it where you just need to go get another Steve Walsh. You only have to go get Ken Dorsey. Go get yourself a smart, accurate quarterback. You don't need a superstar. I would love another Cam Ward, but you don't need it. You need a Cam Ward with that team because it sucked on defense, and you needed a magician to keep your ass in games. The Hurricanes are built differently. They're being built the way they used to be built, from inside out, from dominating inside at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So your quarterback does not have to be Sam Leavitt. Doesn't have to be. So get off that shit. Don't worry about it. This is not a big deal. Do we want Sam Levitt here? Yeah, dude, it would be really cool to get the top quarterback here for the Canes. Would be actually really cool. But the way Mario is building the team, you don't need it. You don't need it. You're going to have great athletes on the boundaries. You'll have tight ends. You'll have a stable of running backs, and you'll have an offensive line that's going to give you a half a minute to pass the ball. Just get yourself a smart and accurate dude that's got a decent arm, and you're fine. And that's it. Get me another Ken Dorsey. Get me another Walsh, and I'm good, dude. And I'm good. Anyway, so to me, none of this is bad news. So don't look at it as bad news. So when your friend we lost out on Levitt, not a big deal. Not a big deal if you understand what Mario has now accomplished. Okay? Let's see what else. I will break some real news here. Stafford Index finger is badly sprained. That sucks. Get some treatment on there. We need you back into the lineup as soon as possible. All right, the realist. So get your shit straight, bro. Get some therapy. Anthony Kyle Campos, Big O, why wasn't the Ja'Cory Harris, Al Golden, Manny Diaz, and some of the players brought that Thursday Miami Hurricanes' biggest front runner of all time? LOL. I don't know. That Northwestern group was terrible. Big O, you just didn't go there. I did. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if we drafted Trinidad in the third. He's trying to get his 87th year of eligibility right now. He's going to sue the NCAA. So we'll see what happens there. The great DJ Gallagher is in the house. He says, Big O, great to see you. Canes, Indiana have any parallels to Nebraska, Miami in 84? No. Yes. No, because Indiana's not Nebraska. Nebraska was like a perennial all-world powerhouse. Indiana is a new powerhouse, but they're not really a powerhouse. They're because you have to do it for several years to be a powerhouse. But they are the best team in the country. And yes, in the fact that the Canes are reestablishing their culture. They're winning. So they are up against Nebraska, which was, we were sitting there watching this game, and it's a game that most of us didn't think we were going to win. And Kenny Calhoun and the boys shocked the world, and they ended up winning, and we were all beside ourselves. No pots and pans in those days. We hadn't picked up that tradition yet, but it was awesome. This one is the same. You're trying to reestablish what you established in 83. So it's kind of like a threshold that you're trying to break, even though I think they've done it already, where it looks like they're headed to being a really good team year in and year out. But you haven't broken through that kind of glass ceiling of a national title. So yeah, that's kind of the parallels of it. The Indiana program right now is not what the Nebraska program was in those days, but it's still the number one team in the country, And Miami, by the way, DJ, will have to play a perfect game. Absolutely. They cannot play the way they just played. They will lose the game and lose badly. Okay? If they do what they did against Ole Miss, they will lose and lose badly. Because that team is smart. That team plays clean football. And it's a tough team. It's an athletic team. Miami is kind of beat up too, by the way. We'll talk to Manny tomorrow about it. But, man, it's, it's crazy, dude. Crazy shit. You got to play a perfect game. Penalties cannot be out there. stupid penalties cannot even show up. One stupid penalty could cost you the game. One penalty where it costs 15 yards and you flip the field and they get a score on you, that score could be the difference in why you lost. So no stupid penalties at all. That's how you get it done. That's how you get it done. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, and you can send in your questions, comments, or insults. And DJ Gallagher, still have take off the billboard there, if you can, Sean. There's your Gallagher, buddy. DJ Gallagher gave me this Gallagher here. Write that down there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Oh, I got to redo the studio. There's a lot of stuff that you guys have given me over the years that I cannot display because I have no room and I have no shelves. So I got to redo the whole thing, put some shelves and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that is important. What else do we have? If people are out on Salah, look at the QBs who left the Jets and established themselves afterwards. I believe anyone who ends up in New York is doomed. Yeah, it's kind of like Miami. Yeah. It's kind of like Miami. Yeah. I hope Indiana beats the Canes, such front runners. Laughing my ass off loud. FIU beat the Canes in the old Orange Bowl. So Anthony Campos is a Canes hater. Horndog says, I totally agree. Canes will need to play like the Ohio State game to beat Indiana. Yes, exactly like that game. And clean like you did against Texas A&M on the road. That you didn't make you made almost no mistakes and all that. In that kind of an environment, the same thing. The way you played in those first two games is the way you got to play against Indiana. Smart, clean football, tough football, execute, all those kind of things. Because in the Texas A&M game, there wasn't a lot of scoring, but your discipline to stay in that game by staying away from the mistakes was super impressive. Super impressive. And that's what you got to keep doing. I agree. What else? Do the Canes have a quarterback on their team now that can start next year? Well, they've got Luke Nickel. And I think in a perfect world, they'd like for him to sit during his sophomore season and learn one more year and kind of mature and all that. Will they put Luke Nickel out there if they have no choice? Yes. He's a highly regarded recruit, but they just don't do this in college anymore where they start freshmen or sophomores. And, we saw Ken Dorsey and we saw Bernie Kosar play from a very young age as starters here at the University of Miami. They just don't do that now. They go out and get guys that are experienced already because of that experience, and it makes the transition a little easier for your offense. So I don't know how Luke Nickel has looked after his first year. But if you're still recruiting guys to kind of get you through this next season, then that tells me you feel that Luke Nickel is not ready yet to be that guy. And so I would imagine that it's one more year of kind of, what's that called? Marinating. And then I think his junior and senior seasons will be where he then plays for 2 years, and then you don't have to go out and get a guy. So I think that's the plan right now. And then they recruited another kid, I forgot his name, that is sitting behind Luke Nickel. But, it's just one of those deals. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I can't answer that. I just don't know where Luke Nickel is right now. But I can answer this. If you're trying to recruit a quarterback, then that tells me you don't think he's ready yet. But we'll see. Hopefully he plays some this year on blowouts and things like that and get some decent playing time and get some experience. That would be really, really cool. Okay. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Ohio John, once again on Venmo. Thank you, sir, for the generosity. He says, when you get fans have to hear about the undefeated 72 team, they have to feel like I did when people talk about Red Grange and Newt Rockne. Exactly. That shit gets old, dude. That shit gets old. And like Kosa brought it up, like to brag about the win against the Bears in 85 and then leave out when it mattered in the playoffs against New England so you can get back to the Super Bowl and beat the Bears because you were the only team in the NFC was dominating all those years in the Super Bowl because they were the better conference. That specific year, Miami had the Bears kryptonite because the Bears secondary wasn't that good. And because of that, their front was so nasty. But nobody had Marino and Duper and Clayton who could respond to them quickly. And that's why they beat them the first go around. And they could have beat them in the Super Bowl. But Bubba, you can't fumble the ball 4 times and shit the bed against New England. That's why when Kosa was bragging about beating the Bears, that's embarrassing, dude. Don't talk about that because the bigger embarrassment is losing to New England that year when you had no business losing to Tippett and Lippett. Those are 2 linebackers for New England. Awesome linebackers, Tippett and Lippett. But literally, they rhymed. They had a Tippett and a Lippett. Who the hell does that? Who has a Tippett and a Lippett on a team? And they're both awesome. Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Big O thoughts on Jeff Hafley. Solid defensive coordinator. Good candidate. Would I hire him now? No. No, not for what I think is going to go on in the next 2 years. I don't know if a young coach is going to survive the next 2 years. So I'd rather have, McCarthy in this situation. I'd rather have Joe Brady over Hafley. I'd rather have Robert Saleh over Hafley. Obviously Stefanski, but they're not going to get him. I'd actually take Kubiak over Hafley. But I don't think Kubiak or Hafley are ready to build a staff. So if I'm going to go in that area, I'm going to take my chance with Joe Brady. But he's not on the list. So what can I tell you? Look, Hafley, excellent candidate. If you want to build a young team down the line and all that, and you've got a lot of patience, maybe he can come through. Maybe he can build a staff. Just the same thing for all these other guys. But I wouldn't take that chance where Miami is at right now. I would go Mike McCarthy right now. You need a veteran to kind of get you through this storm that you're going to go through for the next 2 years. I think it's perfect for Miami to get Mike McCarthy as a transition. Like I told you guys last week, it's not like a permanent thing, but if McCarthy does really well over the next 2 years, then you can, okay, we'll build and we'll continue. But as long as he gets you through these rough years and you build and you move forward with the good culture, then you can set it up for the next guy. But right now, I need somebody that's weathered storms. And he has. Shit, he even weathered, Jerry Jones. That alone is amazing. Andrew Watson, thank you, sir, for your generosity as always on Venmo. He says, explosive shart here. You know the 49ers once had a Fagan and a Homo on the same team in the 80s. Fins up, baby. I'd take the Pizzan Campanelli. That's another one. I don't know if he can build a staff, but I like Campanelli. That's another one. That's a good call, Watson. If all else of the top three are gone. That's another one. Don't know if he can build a staff. Yeah. Fagan, bro. Hell of a player. Blew out his knee with the Canes in the bowl game, dude. Wow. I felt so bad for him. And then Kevin Fagan came back, and coming back from a knee injury in those days is badass. And he went on to have a really good NFL career. Hell of a player for the U and for San Francisco. By the way, Bitcoin has crossed 92,000. We're at 92,200 now. So we shall see what we shall see. All right. Dan Campbell going to kill McDaniel 3rd and 18 bubble screens. Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah, because for those of you that don't understand that one that Anthony sent in, Mike McDaniel is set to interview. This is hilarious. He's going to interview today with the Browns. He's also going to interview with the Falcons, the Ravens, and the Titans for their head coaching spot. And then Detroit also wants to talk to him for the OC job. Just whatever. It's like they didn't really watch the guy every week. It's like when I hear the national guys and I could tell they have a relationship with him or something, and some guys do, and so they can't really speak ill of him, or they say something that's completely off base. But what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Jamie Zoria in the house out in San Jose. Thank you, sir. Can we swap the Dolphins for the Canes? That would be nice. That would be nice. Stefanski is a hell of a coach. I do like Stefanski, but he's just not going to come here. I don't think so, at least. People hate Stefanski just because of Deion Sanders' son. Well, it didn't help this year that he gave him the wrong wristband to go out on the field. And he's like, call him, like, wait a minute, this is different, and so that was kind of a boo-boo he did this year, given Shedeur. And I don't want to blame Stefanski for all the Shedeur crap. Do you know why? Okay. You're the head coach. You don't have final say in personnel. They go and draft 77 quarterbacks. They hand you a rapist, an old man, then a couple of other guys along with Shedeur, and you've got to figure it out. Mind you, you know the politics inside the building. The owner didn't want Shedeur. The front office wanted Shedeur. The coach liked, along with them, they kind of like, along with the front office, also liked Dylan Gabriel, and then also the coach. So then all of a sudden, you've got the politics being played. And then the owner hates Shedeur. So if you're the head coach, you're going to stay away from Shedeur until it's like you've got no choice. Because the owner came out and said, no, he's not my pick. And you're stuck in the middle of all of this. It's just a shitstorm, dude. It just is. So I don't really blame him for the dysfunction that goes on in that building in Cleveland. It's weird. By the way, if you want a really good sign for Bitcoin, We need it to cross 94,000. And if it can start pumping and get past 94,000, then I think we're on our way to 100. If not, if we don't get to 94,000 the next day or two, we could keep consolidating in the high 80s again, 90, something like that, for a little bit again. But if we're going to shoot to 100, we need to increase the trading volume. And, the orangutan, I got to thank him for that, because obviously attacking the Fed and wanting to control the Fed and lower rates and all that, that's going to be disastrous for us, obviously. And the world is going to notice. So that will empower Bitcoin more than ever. Eventually it'll happen. But, very interesting what's going on. Stefanski chose Dylan Gabriel. Yes, he did. He liked him with the front office. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So you got him liking it with the front office. Then another front office dude likes Shador. The owner doesn't like Shador. Then you also have the old man in Flacco on the roster. And then you also traded for Kenny Pickett, or signed Kenny Pickett. I forgot whatever the hell it was. It is a cluster F over there. I don't blame Stefanski because he's in the middle of all this garbage. And by the way, Stefanski could never end up liking Shador if the owner's probably, ripping him behind the scenes. So, crazy shit. Dolphin Dave, the Jags defensive coordinator only has 1 year of experience. No thanks. It's hard for these young guys to build a staff. That's why I really wouldn't. The only young guy that I would go with is Joe Brady, and he's not on the list. That's why I'd rather just go Mike McCarthy. And that's it. And he has already synergy with the GM. Question is, what we don't know is, does John Eric Sullivan get along with Mike McCarthy? Does he like Mike McCarthy? Does he trust Mike McCarthy or whatever? He does have him on the list, so he must like him, right? You know what I'm saying? I actually think the Jeff Hafley interview is a friend doing a friend a favor. Getting Hafley the interview, getting him the experience so he can continue his climb as a coach overall. And again, I know some people yesterday, well, you saw the Green Bay defense. Bro, they're missing a whole bunch of defensive players. The Green Bay had a bunch of injuries. It caught up to them. Too many important injuries. It really set them back. That's where I got to say, that's why I've given Mike Shanahan, for me, he's the coach of the year, because he has no business being where he's at. Most coaches would have, and they have every reason to not get there because of all the injuries. This guy has his best player injured on defense. I don't know how they're getting this far. I really don't. And now they lost the tight end. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's incredible. It's an incredible story. The San Francisco 49ers. All right. Let's see. Lenny Pena says, oh my God, the Browns sound so much like the Dolphins have in the past with the level of dysfunction. Hopefully Ross got it right this time with the hiring of Sullivan. Let's hope so. Like I told you last week, they took like an unconventional and disastrous road to the right decision, because they started with the stupid decision. Keep McDaniel. Let's bring 3 guys from San Francisco. The best one we like, which will be Josh. We'll team them up and we'll move forward. Wait a minute. Harbaugh became available? All right, we got to fire him because last time we approached the Harbaugh, we had a coach in place. Let's not do that again. Let's fire him. Oh, we're not in it. Okay. Well, we do have Sullivan also on the list. Let's go in that direction. So they kind of had a backup plan for the backup plan. So I give them credit in that sense. And from everything I'm hearing with John Eric Sullivan, it's all good. It's actually good. He's got to get it done, but it's actually, there's a good vibe for him. Really good vibe. So let's hope he can get it done. Well, I mean, Lord knows we all want it to happen, right? Oh, what else? What else? Utah Finns fan says Harbaugh owes Ross for all the millions he has given Michigan. Wrong Harbaugh, sir. That's Jim, not John. John went to Miami of Ohio, I think. If I'm correct, he was a defensive back at Miami of Ohio. So he has nothing to do with Michigan at all. Okay. And by the way, all of you out there have got to stop with this whole thing that Stephen Ross has got so much money and that's what's going to get it over the top and all that. Everybody else has got money. He's going to get paid everywhere else. It's a lot more than just about money. Okay. Unfortunately, it has to do with the situation, and Miami's situation is not good. Tim says our fan base craps on the idea of McCarthy despite him winning 12 games a season in 3 straight years and dealing with Jerry Jones bullshit. And he's got a Super Bowl. He's got a Super Bowl. So I give him credit, dude. He's a good coach. Nobody could ever say that that's a bad coach. He's a good coach. And considering the cap hell and the problems you're going to go through in the next 2 years, the second year won't be as bad as the first year, but you'll still have issues. You need a guy like this. You need a guy that has weathered all these kind of things and can build a staff and all of that. And if you find a young quarterback, McCarthy can work with him because he knows quarterbacks really well. I just like the synergy of all of this. I really do. I really do. I got to tell you, I'm like LaFleur. The talk of LaFleur, if they weren't going to sign him and they fire him and then that wasn't really going to get me so excited if Miami hired LaFleur. Halfley guy, he's a good coach, but I don't know if he's ready for this. I'm not going to get that excited about it. Clint Kubiak, I mean, I love what he's done offensively, but I'm not sure if he can be a head coach. It's hard for me to get really excited about some of these guys. That's why for me, get me a guy that's, a little bit more experienced right now, especially for the shit that we're about to go through. I don't think a young guy survives the next 2 years that we're going through. We'll want to fire him within the 2 years because of all the shit that they got to deal with. Whereas I think a Mike McCarthy can actually weather this storm and kind of get through it. It's my 2 cents. Oh, what else do we have? What about the Giants' ex-head coach? Dable? He's probably going to get an offensive coordinator job somewhere. I don't think he'll get a head coaching job. I think he'll get an offensive coordinator job. Some people are talking about the Raiders, where Flores would be the defensive coordinator head coach, and Dable would be the offensive coordinator. So I don't know if it's true or not, but that's one story that's been thrown out there. By the way, Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback, he is getting $6.5 million in an NIL offer. I like him more than the Seattle kid, Ty Simpson. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Says, are the Canes bringing out ring pop TD rings and Party City turnover chains? No, but I saw Ole Miss had a turnover chain. Okay, and the ring pops are, that's a 70s favorite, bro. Ring pop. I'm not opposed to McCarthy. Plus, he's a Pittsburgh kid like Marino, so I'm sure there's some camaraderie there. Okay. With the lawsuit against the NFL, Flores will not get a head coaching job. I tend to agree with you that he's not going to get a head coaching job in this cycle. We'll see what happens in the future. Yeah. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Tonight, it is Houston favored by 3 against Pittsburgh on the road. Over and unders 37.5. Pittsburgh is plus 135. Houston minus 155 on the road. Thunder last night took care of the Heat 124-112. Miami is the ace seed right now. They're 7-13 in their last 20 games. Tuesday, they will take on Phoenix at 7:30. Tonight, the Panthers back in action, taking on the Sabres. On Saturday, they beat Ottawa 3-2. They are 4-6 in their last 10. They need to turn that thing around. The Fort Lauderdale United are off till January 31st. They will take on Lexington SC at Beyond Bankcard Field at 7:30. Get your tickets at ftlutd.com. Canes on the 19th will take on Indiana for the national championship, and Indiana's favored by 7.5 points. The over and under is 48.5. Canes plus 250. Indiana minus 325 on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. If your company, corporation, you need custom printing and embroidery, call my guy Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Sean, do me a favor. Give me 30 seconds, sir.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Raymond. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Raymond can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
Thank you for the patience. Appreciate you all out there. By the way, what the hell is the Heat doing, dude? I've been talking about this for a while now, for, 2 years, a year and a half. And obviously with the new additions, I brought it up again. Trade everyone, please. You can't trade Tyler. So you're stuck with his sorry ass for now. So let him play his way through it and wait till he can build up value, and then you can get rid of him. Find some sucker to give you something for him. Trade everyone else, man. Go get a whole bunch of first-round picks. Reset the team. Mickey Harrison is a cheap billionaire, dude. So he'd rather try to keep a team that just kind of keeps you somewhat interested and all that. Eventually people are going to see it's a fraudulent way of doing things. It's amazing how the Miami Heat forgot completely how to be a great franchise. They have gone the other way, dude. What a shame, bro. What a shame. Like, they got old right in front of us, and they refuse to adjust to what's going on in the NBA. It's embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing. And it's not just a Riley thing. It's a Riley Harrison thing. Wow. They will not do what you're supposed to do. They will not adjust to the way things are being done nowadays. We all have to adjust in life. Things are done differently. You're going to have to switch to emails because you can't just, it won't be only about mail. You know, you can't just, checks are gone. They're gone. They're working on that. Better learn how to use, digital money. Better learn how to use apps. You know what I'm saying? It's not about getting up and changing the TV anymore. Now you've got to change apps. Everything changes. There's an adjustment to everything in life. And the Miami Heat are the old man that refuses to change and thinks that you can still use checks everywhere. And that's not the case. And he's still saving his pennies when there are no more pennies to be saved because they're not printing them anymore. And they refuse to change. It's sad, bro. Sad. You know what's even more sad? The people that are buying into this shit. Like, don't you see what's going on? Like, and whoever are season ticket holders and all that, like, they have no idea what they're doing. Do you not see that? Because I hate to say this, Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison, they don't know what the hell they're doing. You do know that, right? You do know that Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm sorry. Pat, Mickey, and Nick have no idea what they're doing. Now they're doing great business, and God bless you. If that's what it's all about, go for it, man. But you certainly don't know shit about building a championship franchise anymore. You have no idea. Hell, you don't even know how to build a winning franchise in the playoffs anymore. You don't even know how to get into the playoffs anymore. Now you only know how to get into the play-in. So, just kind of sad. It's sad. Like, you were an elite franchise. You were cutting edge. And all of a sudden now you have fallen absolutely behind. Anyway, Bradley Cool says, Big O, do you think it's not best to ride Tua back next year and reset 2027? No, get rid of him, bro. Move forward. Move forward. You don't need the Tua stuff anymore. You got to move forward from that. Dolphin Dave says McCarthy has 6 less wins than John. Same coach. Give me McCarthy. Okay. Kyle Shanahan reminds me of a young Shula. He gets a lot out of less when injuries hit the team. Amen. I agree with that. Utah Fins fan. That's a good one. The Miami Heat, thank God, didn't get Trey Young. Yeah, well, that's just stupid talk. What, who's talking Trey Young, bro? Give me a break. I wouldn't waste my time talking Trey Young. And by the way, if the Heat ever did the Trey Young thing, the rip job that they would be getting from me would be royal shit. Would be some royal shit. But again, like, I'm not going to waste your time about Harbaugh. I ain't wasting your time about Trey Young. The saying of a penny saved is a penny earned is going to go away. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Miami Heat is still on dial-up internet versus Wi-Fi. Well, yeah, that's true. That app of theirs sucks. Yeah, it's not. I will say this. It's better than the Panther one. Okay? The Panther one sucks. Yeah. So these apps are horrible too on top of all of that. They're not very reliable, dude. They freeze up and all that. It's just garbage, dude. What else? Yeah, a lot of fountains will suffer. Yeah. But people start throwing in nickels and quarters and stuff like that because they'll become, very, what's it called? Like it'll have no value. Like the penny has no value. That's how we're going to get with nickels and dimes too at the same time because, we're printing like it's going out of style. We're devaluing the dollar like it's going out of style. The average car price now for the average new car, we're up to $40,000. It's not saying you can't find some under that, but the average price for a new car now is $40,000. The average price for a new homeowner, 40 years old. That shit when people used to get young when they were young and they got married and they had a couple bucks and they put it down on a house and they started on a house right away. That's done. That's done. Young people that get married now have no chance. 40 years old is the average of the new home buyer. It's crazy. Crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's nuts. I tell you, it's nuts. I see WWE, you just retweeted the road to WrestleMania there, Sean Stanley. The road to WrestleMania. I like it. Like Patrick Henry once said, give me Bitcoin or give me Ethereum. I bought my first home 2 years ago at 36. There you go. Now it's 40. And he's 36. That's crazy that at 36, he's buying his first home. It's insane. Insane, dude. Okay? It's wrong. It's really, really wrong. Let me do a little music. We love doing music. Let's go with musicians celebrating birthdays today. All right. And here we go. All right, let's start off. Who was born on the 12th of January? I know you guys are like wondering, right? Let's see. Mel C from the Spice Girls. Melanie Chisholm celebrating a birthday. She is born in 1974 on this date. Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, born in 1970. Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan, born in 68. Robert Cummings, better known as Rob Zombie, born in 1965. Greg Creasel, bassist from The Offspring, born in 65. Charlie Gillingham, keyboardist with the Counting Crows, born in 1960. Pete Gessel from the Swedish group Roxette, born in 59. Felipe Rose from the Village People. Let me see. What does it say which one he was? It says Felipe Rose from the American disco group The Village People. They had the hit singles, Macho, Macho Man in the Navy, Go West, We Will Find Our Way. And the 78 U.S. number 2 hit, YMCA. The group's name refers to New York City's Greenwich Village, at the time known for its large gay population. I don't know which one Felipe Rose was, but I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to go Felipe Rose was the Indian. So look it up for me, Sean. Who was Felipe Rose in the Village People? I'm going to go he was the Indian. What the hell? Let's see. Who else celebrating birthdays? Cynthia Robinson from Sly and the Family Stone, born in 46. And William Lee Golden from the Oak Ridge Boys. Damn. So play me some mountain music like Grandma and Grandpa used to play. And take me, was it down the river to the caves and hideaways or something like that? I forgot what it was. Anyway, go ahead there, Sean. What do we got?
I believe it's Cajun Hideaway.
Cajun Hideaway. That's it.
You said he was the Indian?
Wow. That's a nice job. Good one. All right, go ahead.
You said, who'd you say he was? Felipe Rose? You thought he was which one?
The Indian.
He was the Indian.
I figured, sorry, but I'm Hispanic. I can do this. All right. Oh, wait a minute. You're the spick. Yeah, usually you guys are a little bit darker. Let's use you as the Indian. There you go. That's it. You're Mexican, you're Cuban, you're Puerto Rican. You'll be the better one to be the Indian. We're certainly not going to make you a cop. Except for this Latin. I don't have much of a tan, but most of the other ones do. So we'll make you the Indian. No problem. All right, let's go with famous people born on this date. Let's see. What else do we have here? Mentalist, the amazing Kreskin, born in 1935. International Boxing Hall of Fame member Joe Frazier, born in 44. Radio personality Rush Limbaugh, born in 51. Actress Kirstie Alley, born in 51. Hall of Fame member Drew Pearson, born in 51. He's 75. Radio personality Howard Stern, born in 54. He's 72. Journalist Christiane Amanpour, born in 58. She's 68. Actor Oliver Platt, born in 60. He's 66. Businessman Jeff Bezos, born in 64. He's 62. Model animal rights activist Heather Mills, born in 68. She's 58. Cynthia Adai Robinson, born in 85. She is 41, the actress. Musician Zayn Malik from One Direction, born in 93. He is 33. Sean Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir. B. Brian Blair turned 67. Big Dick Dudley was born on this date in 1968.
Is that guy's name Big Dick Dudley?
Yes, he's one of the original Dudleys.
Okay, you kind of went fast by it because you just kind of wanted to overlook and just, you didn't really enunciate that part. This guy's name is Big Dick Dudley.
There you go. BDD.
He had that big dick energy, I guess.
He brought it to ECW. Yes, he did.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
Tiger Mask 5 is 50. Chrissy Vane is 45. Someone we lost way too soon, Luna Vachon. She was born on this date in 1962. And WWE's Raquel Rodriguez. She turns 35 on January 12th, 2026.
All right, there we go. I heard Matt Khalil wanted to take the name from him and go into wrestling. All right, let's go to music history. What happened in music history? First of all, in 69, what a number to start off after what we were talking about. Led Zeppelin released their self-titled debut album on this date. In 74, Jim Croce started a 5-week run at #1 on the U.S. album charts with You Don't Mess Around with Jim. In 74, the Steve Miller Band reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles with I'm a Joker, I'm a Smoker, I'm a midnight toker. In 77, the Police had their first rehearsal held at drummer Stuart Copeland's London apartment with Henri Podevani on guitar. Podevani left the Police in August of 77 after guitarist Andy Summer joined the lineup. In 95, the Allman Brothers Band, Al Green and the late Janis Joplin, Led Zeppelin, Martha Reeves and the Vandells, and Neil Young, the Orioles, and the late Frank Zappa were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In, 95, Al Green was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Al might be best known for his signature song, Let's Stay Together. But he had many other hits, including Take Me to the River, Tired of Being Alone, I'm Still in Love with You, and Love and Happiness. With 29 albums and many awards, accolades under his belt, some have referred to Al Green as the last of the great soul singers. I would say Luther Vandross was a great soul singer. Let's see. There's got to be a few more that I would call great. Teddy Pendergrass. Oh my God, Teddy Pendergrass is a freaking excellent soul singer. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's the last. He's great, but I wouldn't call him the last. I think there's a few others. Let's see, what else do we have? In 2003, Maurice Gibb of the Bee Gees died at a Miami hospital. He was 53, had suffered a heart attack 3 days prior to undergoing emergency abdominal surgery. In 2014, Beautiful, the Carole King musical, opened on Broadway. It won a Grammy Award for Best Musical Theater Album and was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Musical. Carole King is just a goddess, dude. In 2022, Ronnie Spector died at the age of 78 at her home in Danbury, Connecticut. Be my little baby. In 2023, Lisa Marie Presley died at the age of 54. Now, let me see if there's anybody here on this list that wasn't on the other for birthdays. Doesn't look like it. Nope. That's what happened today in music history, folks. There we go. So Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. The wise guy went with the Rams -10. And I was telling you guys on Saturday when we gave the wise guy picks and Casino Steve, there was no way I was giving 10 points to the Panthers. And they ended up barely winning 34-31. Got to give the Panthers a lot of credit, dude. They fought there, man. Not a very good team, and there's the playoffs are watered down, but I got to give them credit. They hung in there. Bears over the Packers, 31-27. Matt LaFleur underachieving. The Bears continue their amazing ways. The Bills over the Jags, 27-24. Josh Allen was a superhero again, and the Jags became the Jags. Sad, because they were the better team, and they didn't go out there and played like it. Kind of like the Dolphins and the Patriots back in 85 there, Corso. Anyway, that was too easy. 49ers over the Eagles, 23-19. That mediocre quarterback Jalen Hurts goes down. Pats over the Chargers, 16-3. Herbert was 19 of 31, 159 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And he's 0-3 in the playoffs, by the way. Okay. So far for next week on Saturday at 4:30, we've got Buffalo taking on Denver. Buffalo's favored by 2. The over-and-under is 46.5. Denver's plus 105. Buffalo's minus 125. This one's going to be interesting because I love Denver's defense in this game, and they're home. The only thing is Josh Allen has heroics. Bo Nix is going to need some of those. And he has a tendency of doing a lot what the Chicago kid does, where they don't play on schedule very well, but then in the fourth quarter or in key moments, Bo Nix finds a way to make plays. Same as the Chicago kid, finds a way to make plays. Caleb just, he's not a very good quarterback. He's immature as hell, but Jesus Christ, dude. When the shit hits the fan, the kid has an ability to make plays. And you can't take that away. And Bo Nix is the same thing. Bo Nix does not play well in a game a lot of times. But then when it comes to the clutch moments, somehow or another, he finds a way to hit those passes, dude. So Bo's going to need some magic here because Josh Allen has to do it. He has no choice. His team's not that good. Seattle against San Fran. And here's where I thought the Rams were the best team. And then in the end, Seattle proved to me that they were the better team. And San Fran's had an amazing run. It ends here. I don't know about the 7 because I got to give San Fran a lot of credit. They are gritty as hell, and I can see them playing a tight game and losing by 1, 2, or 3 points. So the 7, I don't know if I would lay it, but I'm pretty confident that Seattle's going to win this. The balance that they have and that defense is nasty. Mad props, dude. Mad props. We'll see. San Fran just doesn't have enough on defense. If they had their linebacker back, if Fred was back, then I would tell you, okay, I don't know if the line would be 7 if Fred was back. That's the thing. Rams will be taking on the Bears. The Bears. And the Rams are favored by 3.5 on the road. The over and under is 51.5. The Bears are plus 165 on the money line, and the Rams are minus 200. Hell of a game. And that half throws me off between the Rams and Chicago. I don't think I'm going to end up even touching this game right now. Some of these games might be better to take on live, is what it's going to be. Probably. So that is a hell of an induction class. Yeah, because those were the early classes. So they were putting in the best of the best in there. I thank God every day for the 85 victory over the Bears. Changed my life forever, right? It's funny, right? Changed my life forever. Yeah. The one that changed my life forever was the 4 fumbles and the loss to the Patriots. That's the one that changed my life forever. Thurman Thomas getting 300 yards on us. That's the one that changed my life forever. John Riggins running all over us. That's the one that changed my life forever. Okay? Those are the games that changed my life forever. Stopping the Bears from being undefeated. Oh, my God. My life is so much better because of that. How many of you would trade beating the Bears in 85 for the win against the Patriots in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Let the Bears get their stupid undefeated during the regular season, make it in the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, and beat them in the Super Bowl and end the undefeated there, not in a silly regular season game. Whatever. 85 lost to Steve Grogan at QB for the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game, shaking my head. A gridiron epiphany. Big O, another coach of the year candidate, the Latin Mexican head coach of the Panthers, Canales. There you go. He's done a good job, but I would give it to Shanahan. Shanahan for me is my coach of the year. But I get it. There's some other really, really good ones, and if they give it to him, whatever, man. It's just we're arguing just to argue, for crap's sake. By the way, Stephen Ross did release a statement for you all out there so you can feel better about the Dolphins. Let me see. Where is? Oh, here it is. I have it here. Forgot about it. Here it is. Let me get to it. Let me read Stephen Ross's statement for you all out there, okay? I could not be more excited to welcome John Eric Sullivan as our next general manager. John Eric brings a clear vision for how to build and run a football team, founded upon his own experience at a winning organization. As we went through our search process and we kept screwing up because we first thought Mike McDaniel and a San Fran guy would work, but then Harbaugh became available and we said, oh shit, let's fire McDaniel. Let's go after Harbaugh. But then we realized Harbaugh doesn't want us. So here we are. It became undeniable the respect John Eric has across the league as a talent evaluator, leader, and a man of integrity. We had an extremely talented group of candidates, and John Eric's ability to stand out so clearly speaks to how impressive he is. Plus, he was the last guy standing after our first couple of plans failed, not only for our experience, not only for his experience, but also his depth of knowledge, his detail-oriented approach, and his passion. I believe we found the best of the best in John Eric, and I'm looking forward to working with him as he leads us into a new era of Dolphins football. There you go. Okay? Don't you feel great now? Aren't you ready now? Aren't you ready to buy season tickets for the next 10 straight years? Just call your executive right now. Here's an open checkbook. Just write in the check every year. We're good. Just leave 10 checks signed. Oh, wait a minute. Checks aren't any good. Anyway, not in 10 years. By the way, what was Aaron Andrews thinking this weekend? Just wondering. Did you see Aaron Andrews there, Sean? Pull it up there on my. It's on my Twitter feed. It's like one of the latest tweets that I have there. Either she was inspired by Liza Minnelli, or they sacrificed a lot of raccoons. I'm not exactly sure what was her inspiration, but it's not really how you dress at a football game. And it just, I don't know, it was kind of odd. It's an odd outfit is what I would call it. An outfit that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, you would think that she was at some fancy ball in some, I don't know, some really stuffy white place somewhere in the world. Just something, because there was nothing hip about it. She was stuck in the 50s or 60s or 70s or something like that. But I'm not exactly sure what Aaron Andrews was thinking, but that was not stylish for a football game. There she is. Ooh. That is bad right there. That is bad. That is very Liza Minnelli inspiration right there. Look at that. Look at that. You know how many raccoons you killed there? What the hell is that? New Year's, 1972. New Year's, 1951. I don't know. Weird. Aaron, I don't know. I don't know who the costume designer is there at Fox. I don't know who was deciding what. Or maybe you have full say and nobody told you anything or something. But, man, somebody should have stopped her. Somebody should have stopped her. That's bad right there. That's bad. Wow. Poor raccoons. Poor raccoons. Got to tell you. She looks like Cruella. I like that. I like that. Yes. Well, you got to have the leather gloves. If you can't wear that without leather gloves, that would be awkward if you wore that and didn't have leather gloves or some kind of furry type gloves, something. But you got to have some kind of, gloves to go with all that whole getup. So, yeah. What can I tell you? Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. Very, very importante. Okay? And remember to hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live. You can always make a donation to the show at any time, Cash App or Venmo. Tomorrow we're going to be at Hialeah Park. We're going to have some fun there at Hialeah Park. We'll be out there at 2 o'clock. We thank the great Sean Stanley. Tomorrow we will talk to David Furones and Ira Winderman. So we'll have some fun with both of them. And we will be at Caneswear on Thursday. And we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood on Wednesday. Okay, so Tuesday, Hialeah. Wednesday, Toyota of Hollywood. Thursday, Caneswear. Those are the 3 road trips that we're going to have this week. All right. And by the way, speaking of Toyota of Hollywood, since we're going to be there on Wednesday, they have a great deal going on right now. #1 volume sales dealership here in the Southeast United States. They're open till midnight. They've got no payments for 90 days right now, 2.75% financing available for 4 full years, 0 down, 2,000 vehicles in stock, over 1,200 new ones. The Camry LE sedan right now, you can get it for $299 a month, 0 down. Go see the folks out there. Herbie Lopez does great work at 1841 North State Road 7. They're right on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. We'll be out there on Wednesday having some fun, and we appreciate all the great people there at Toyota of Hollywood. Appreciate all of you out there that tuned in. If you hit the like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, we shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the